Hi, good afternoon from Austin, Texas, from the Combined Ophthalmic Symposium. We're pleased to have Hayley Boling today. Thanks a lot, Hayley, for being with us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hayley, it's always a great time at the COS meeting to discuss important practice management strategies. And I know that in particular you have an interest in maintaining proper culture in a practice and how keeping employees and onboarding new employees into the practice in order to reflect that practice's culture. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So this is one of my very favorite topics in all of practice management, and it's because it all comes down to the intentionality of creating the culture that accurately reflects, the kind of feel and the overall, experience that people have when they walk through our doors. And so it's so important to make sure that whenever we bring somebody on board, that we hire to the culture, that these are individuals that are the right fit from the very beginning. Do they embody our core values? Do they understand our mission? And if those are the types of individuals that we're recruiting, we're then able to bring them on board and to show them who we are, why we do what we do, that we're on mission, on purpose. And then when we invite them to be a part of something like that, something bigger than ourselves, we usually have a pretty darn good fit.
Well, Hayley, that's a really good point. And let's dive a little deeper on that. Let's get a bit granular. How specifically in your hiring process do you identify candidates that are a good fit for the culture? Is it a specific line of questioning? Is it a character trait? What is it that you look for?
So it really depends on the position that we're hiring for. So when it comes to physicians, you better believe that we are talking to them about our 3 core values. So at Boling Vision Center, it's about integrity, compassion, and excellence. So we want to make sure that they have situational, answers to questions that we have so that they truly live by integrity on a daily basis, that they practice with that compassion that we're looking for, that they understand that continuous improvement and having an attitude of going after something big on a daily basis is all what feeds into excellence. And so physicians, absolutely, we're asking situational questions in addition to seeing those CVs. On the more hourly or our more lay staff positions, we're asking a lot of questions. We're having them job shadow. We're taking a look at the tempo of how they can actually keep up with the practice. We're a super busy practice. And so if we have individuals that aren't used to kind of keeping a fairly high pace, they're probably not going to be able to keep up with us. And so in addition to those situational questions, we have them job shadow, and then we also have panel-like interviews so that everybody gets a feel for those individuals to make sure that they're the right fit as well.
So in that scenario, does it sound like then you may be hiring somebody on a sort of temporary or probational basis where you want to get a sense for how they work in the environment for a couple days or a couple weeks, whatever the time frame may be?
Yeah, you know what? There are times where we have that try before you buy kind of a mentality, and whenever we have that opportunity, so we have internships and externships. We actually have a residency program for optometrists at this point, and so we have a lot of fun having that opportunity to train people and to see them in action before we actually invite them to come on board. For those lay staff positions, we actually pay them to come and shadow the clinic prior to offering that opportunity for employment. So you're absolutely right. It's so important to see them in the setting and their native environment before we actually bring them on full time.
Hayley, that's a great point. And I want to shift gears for just a moment before we close and talk about perhaps changing culture in the environment that you already have in the practice. Let's say there's a specific culture surrounding a certain topic or situation that you'd like to adjust, and certainly you're going to train your existing employee sort of trained in it.
Interview resistant to change, and so we needed to change the culture, and by doing so, we've then been able to create